A reading from 1 Chronicles chapter 20. The following spring, at the time of the year when kings usually go to war, Joab led out the army and invaded the land of Ammon. King David, however, stayed in Jerusalem. They besieged the city of Rabbah, attacked it, and destroyed it. The Ammonite idol Molech had a gold crown which weighed about 75 pounds. In it there was a jewel, which David took and put in his own crown. He also took a large amount of loot from the city. He took the people of the city and put them to work with saws, iron hoes, and axes. He did the same to the people of all the other towns of Ammon. Then he and his men returned to Jerusalem. Later on, war broke out again with the Philistines at Gezer. This was when Sibbechai from Husha killed a giant named Sippai, and the Philistines were defeated. There was another battle with the Philistines, and Elhanan, son of Jair, killed Lahmi, the brother of Goliath from Gath, whose spear had a shaft as thick as the bar on a weaver's loom. Another battle took place at Gath, where there was a giant with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. He was a descendant of the ancient giants. He defied the Israelites, and Jonathan, the son of David's brother Shammah, killed him. These 3, who were killed by David and his men, were descendants of the giants at Gath. The word of the Lord. A reading from 1 Chronicles chapter 21. Satan wanted to bring trouble on the people of Israel, so he made David decide to take a census. David gave orders to Joab and the other officers, "Go through Israel from one end of the country to the other and count the people. I want to know how many there are." Joab answered, "May the Lord make the people of Israel 100 times more numerous than they are now. Your Majesty, they are all your servants. Why do you want to do this and make the whole nation guilty?" But the king made Joab obey the order. Joab went out, traveled through the whole country of Israel, and then returned to Jerusalem. He reported to King David the total number of men capable of military service: 1,100,000 in Israel and 470,000 in Judah. Because Joab disapproved of the king's command, he did not take any census of the tribes of Levi and Benjamin. God was displeased with what had been done, so he punished Israel. David said to God, "I have committed a terrible sin in doing this. Please forgive me. I have acted foolishly." Then the Lord said to Gad, David's prophet, "Go and tell David that I am giving him 3 choices. I will do whichever he chooses." Gad went to David, told him what the Lord had said, and asked, "Which is it to be? 3 years of famine, or 3 months of running away from the armies of your enemies, or 3 days during which the Lord attacks you with his sword and sends an epidemic on your land, using his angel to bring death throughout Israel? What answer shall I give the Lord?" David replied to Gad, "I am in a desperate situation, but I don't want to be punished by people. Let the Lord himself be the one to punish me, because he is merciful." So the Lord sent an epidemic on the people of Israel, and 70,000 of them died. Then he sent an angel to destroy Jerusalem. But he changed his mind and said to the angel, "Stop! That's enough." The angel was standing by the threshing place of Araunah, a Jebusite. David saw the angel standing in mid-air, holding his sword in his hand, ready to destroy Jerusalem. Then David and the leaders of the people, all of whom were wearing sackcloth, bowed low with their faces touching the ground. David prayed, "O God, I am the one who did wrong. I am the one who ordered the census. What have these poor people done? Lord, my God, punish me and my family and spare your people." The angel of the Lord told Gad to command David to go and build an altar to the Lord at Araunah's threshing place. David obeyed the Lord's command and went, as Gad had told him to. There, at the threshing place, Araunah and his 4 sons were threshing wheat, and when they saw the angel, the sons ran and hid. As soon as Araunah saw King David approaching, he left the threshing place and bowed low, with his face touching the ground. David said to him, "Sell me your threshing place so that I can build an altar to the Lord to stop the epidemic. I'll give you the full price." "Take it, your majesty," Araunah said, "and do whatever you wish. Here are these oxen to burn as an offering on the altar, and here are the threshing boards to use as fuel, and wheat to give as an offering. I give it all to you." But the king answered, "No, I will pay you the full price. I will not give as an offering to the Lord something that belongs to you, something that costs me nothing." And he paid Araunah 600 gold coins for the threshing place. He built an altar to the Lord there and offered burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. He prayed, and the Lord answered him by sending fire from heaven to burn the sacrifices on the altar. The Lord told the angel to put his sword away, and the angel obeyed. David saw by this that the Lord had answered his prayer, so he offered sacrifices on the altar at Araunah's threshing place. The tent of the Lord's presence, which Moses had made in the wilderness, and the altar on which sacrifices were burned, was still at the place of worship at Gibeon at this time. But David was not able to go there to worship God because he was afraid of the sword of the Lord's angel. The word of the Lord.